Hello, Virgo. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. All right, Virgo. So very simply between the two, it's needing to think clearly about the fact that you may be on an unnecessary path, or needing to not look at the path that you're on as being the wrong path. So from Le Vampire Reason, listen to advice, think clearly, and intellect. And then from Chakra Wisdom, Quest. Quest is one of those cards where you feel like your life doesn't have meaning right now, but it will if you're somewhere else. And that's not true, right? Your power is in the moment. But right now, some of you may be taking an unnecessary path and needing to listen to good advice, but not like overthink things, but just think a little bit more clearly about where you feel like you're headed. Because with Quest showing up, it's like some of you may feel like you're not on your right path right now, but you are, though. All right, Virgo, here we go. Here's your overall, oh my God, for the week. Why? The Devil. So now, with the Devil being the overall here, I mean, yeah, you could be talking about dealing with a Capricorn, which is possible, but, I see these things a little bit deeper than that. You're talking about the negative things that have control over you right now. Needing to get out of unhealthy situations, bad habits, bad patterns of thought, needing to think clearly, right? But needing to release yourself from something that may have a hold on you right now. In the past, strength. I love it when strength shows up for Virgo. So no matter what you're dealing with, you still have the strength to go through this, to get past this, to release yourself from it. But I feel like you've been trying to do this, and you're still trying to do this with strength still showing up. I would have liked to have seen that in the present rather than the past. Oh boy. All right. In the present moment, the Ace of Cups. Now, for some of you, you may have a brand new beginning right in front of you. But you may feel like you're chained to a negative situation or something that is unhealthy. And like you're needing to pull on that resolve again, but like really pulling on the strength here to get out of, whatever has a hold over you. I don't think that Ace of Cups is what's being given to you by the Devil. Like, I don't think that that's it at all. I think that these are two separate things, but this is the pre-existing thing that some of you are dealing with right now. But wowza, yeah, you're looking at a brand new beginning here with the Ace of Cups. New love, new emotional fulfillment, new spiritual connection. But, are you going to be able to do anything with it, though? I mean, if you're still dealing with the Devil, right? Oh, wow. Future conditions, the Tower. Now, if you're dealing with a person here, looking at the Tower connected to this, it may be that you deal with, an abrupt situation with them, but I don't know. I feel more so that the Tower is you realizing that all that shit's got to get cleared away with the Devil being the overall, I don't so much feel like something's going to be shocking to you. I feel more so that this is about like cleaning the slate. But it's not like it needs to be drastic for you more so than anything else. I don't know. With the Ace of Cups being above that, that may be like the shock though. This brand new beginning being offered to you, but then still being stuck with something negative because you're still trying to find the strength to get away from it. But that's big. It's almost like needing to have it completely destroyed. That's the only way that Ace of Cups is going to mean anything. Oh, Virgo, your best path to follow, the Ten of Cups, happiness, your overall happiness. And it's right there, like it's right there. But you have this over you right now, or in future conditions even. I think that with the Ten of Cups being your best path to follow, it's asking you to go after what is actually going to give you overall happiness, instead of dealing with the unhealthy, toxic things. It's all about getting past this now. And I mean, you still have the strength to do this, but it's only because there's something else in front of you. Oh, Virgo, in your environment, the Four of Wands with the Ace of Cups, that's really good. Like, really good. So with the Four of Wands, getting to a place of stability, but needing to work toward this. But the only way that you're going to get there, though, is like if things like drastically, abruptly change with the Tower being there. You know, because you're talking about things that need to go away, but then building something new for sure here. But I don't feel like this is where you move into after this. Because of the Devil being the overall. It would have been different. It would have been something else here. But this connected to the Ace of Cups, we could definitely talk about you possibly building a life with somebody, moving in with somebody, right? Like I see commitment with this celebration, feeling like you've hit a place where you actually get to see the results of what you've been working toward that's ultimately going to lead to, I mean, look, you know, the Ace and the 10, hell yeah. It's just this. That needs to go away. It has to go away now, you know? But it's there. It's there. It's just whether or not, you know, you're able to make the most of this. And I think you're trying, but this is still like there. It's still there in your presence. It's still there around you. And it's just, it needs to be like gone. Just gone. Like total destruction. Before you can see the new creation, right? Wow, your hopes and your fears, the 10 of Pentacles, damn, man. So, and not only are we talking about overall happiness here, but overall security and stability in like really big ways for you. You know, if you, and I'm looking at it this way, if you make the most of this, yes, you could definitely get to the place of the Four of Wands, absolutely, right? But what happens after that? Well, when you're looking at you hoping for the 10 of Pentacles, it's long-term security and stability, you know, and this may be a new connection in terms of family, though, too, because of these two 10s showing up. But that Ace of Cups, and then looking at the Four of Wands, yeah, you do have something that's there, you know, and some of you may be worried about your overall stability and security if this is gone for good. What does that mean? You know, because there may have been like a level of security with this, you know, because we're talking about hopes and fears, you know, but looking at it, I mean, getting to a place where you finally have what is going to make you happy, that happily ever after, that forever security and stability is what I feel like here. But we got to get rid of that damn Devil first, you know, and that may be why Quest and Reason is showing up, you know, thinking reasonably about what you know, could have, what you could be doing, you know, but then feeling like it's not the right path because this may be something that you've been with for quite some time, because this is drastic. And like, I feel like for some of you, that's the only way, it's going to be done with for good, no matter what you're dealing with here with the Devil. Whatever it is that you feel like has power over you, that is what needs to be completely like wiped away. And like I said, I do think that some of you have had like a level of security with this where it's like you're realizing now that there's something else that's possible for you. Wow. Because I'm looking at it coming this way. But then I'm wondering what's going to happen out of this. Oh, Virgo. Wow. Are you serious? Like, yes. The Ace of Wands coming out. Yes. And the only way that that's going to happen is if we have complete destruction, right? It reminds me of Kali. I've got a statue of that on my bookshelf right in front of me. This is something that has such a hold on you that it, like I said, it has to be gone in a really big, drastic way in order for that Ace of Wands and that Ace of Cups to be your new security. Whew. New passion, new love. new creative ideas, new work, something that's going to be more stable for you. Maybe, buying a new home possibly for some of you. For some of you, it's going to have to do with a relationship here, building a life. But it's good. It's good. Virgo, you're shifting. Your energy has been shifting slowly but surely. In your last couple of readings, even with some of the negative stuff that shows up, it's like it has no standing. It has no standing. Holy crap, the Ace of Wands. Well, when you start opening up to that here after this has been completely destroyed, the Star, you're seeing your hopes and your desires in a much different way. And healing. You're going to have healing from this for sure. And then Temperance, major balance going on between the two of them. It's beautiful, right? Getting to that place where you feel more balanced when it comes to the way that you're thinking and the way that you're feeling, right? That's the big thing for me with Temperance, right? Tempering the heart with the mind. And again, reason, thinking clearly and knowing that you need to take a new path, right? But then the Magician, hell yeah, manifesting that cool ass shit. And you got those two aces. I love it. I love it. It's destructive, but it's creative. It's like finality, but it's new beginnings. It's so beautiful. But with the Magician coming out, once you get to a place where you feel like you are more balanced, it's going to be up to you to start working at this. But like I said, I feel like for some of you, it's building a life, not just for yourself, but for some of you building a life with someone. But major. Oh my God. Okay, so what I will say is if we're talking about a relationship here with the Devil being the overall, if you feel like you're in this karmic cycle in terms of relationships, it's going to be over in a very destructive way, but it's ultimately for, something new to come in. And with these, hell yeah. But you have to make this happen though with the Magician, but I feel like that's exactly what you're going to do. And then the Queen of Pentacles, and you guys aren't the only ones here. So if we're looking at reconciliation, you're looking at the Queen of Pentacles. It doesn't matter if you're male or female here or if your partner's male or female. When it comes to her, you're talking about somebody who may be reconciling with you because they weren't very attentive to you or the relationship. Because I see the Queen of Pentacles in this deck as somebody who is focused somewhere else. Normally focused on their career, their money, their independence, their finances, right? They may be coming back here, right? And you can be talking about another Virgo, Capricorn, or Taurus, right? And then you got Cap going on here too. Now, and it may be you that's reconciling though, because we're looking at the Queen of Pentacles, right? But I don't know. I feel more so that this is what's happening to you, because this is saying that someone from your past is coming through and then you have her showing up. Now, on the other hand, you may have somebody coming back through and you may be focused somewhere else. But I don't know. I feel more so that it's going to have to do with somebody, trying to fix the fact that they weren't focused enough on the relationship with you. But this bothers me for those of you who are single. Like I said, you could be dealing with somebody who is married and is trying to get your attention or maybe stalking you or admiring you, right? I just don't like the energy with this. I don't think it's you doing this to another person here. But then I do feel like some of you may be in a situation where a relationship is moving really quickly though too, but you may have somebody that is still up your ass, which is a possibility. But no matter what is happening here, Virgo, ultimately you get to decide here what you are going to manifest with the Magician coming out. 3 majors, wow. And looking at the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Cups and the 10s showing up, that Devil is not going to have any standing. But I think the only way that Ace is going to come through for you, the both of them, is if you have, total destruction here. when it comes to the toxic things that you may feel like still have a hold on you, but again, you're pulling on that inner strength and you're moving into a place here where you get to see better stability and security for yourself. All right, Virgo. So like I said before, it's really about you needing to think clearly about the path that you've been on. And for some of you, you may have been on that unnecessary path, but things are starting to change now. And again, not overthinking, right? And not feeling like your life has meaning somewhere else, because that's not true. It has meaning right now. But you need to think clearly about where you're actually headed, or where you feel like you're actually headed. Now, and it's funny because I always worry when I see the devil as a signifier here, but looking at what is happening around this, it doesn't have any standing, because you're still pulling on your inner strength here to get past this, which is great. None of the toxic things, none of, the things that you feel like have power over you are going to prevail at all. And your energy is like shifting in a really big way, especially with all the majors coming out. Now, I think that the reason why you're pulling on your inner strength here is because you do have an opportunity that's right in front of you. And with the Four of Wands being there, with the Ace of Cups, it could be a situation where, there is new love, a new opportunity for you to be happy, possibly a new opportunity here to move or to buy a house even for some of you. But looking at the Tower, it's like whatever you're dealing with here, because of the devil being the overall, it has to be completely destroyed before you're okay with making the most of these. I mean, hell yeah. With the two of these showing up, beautiful, right? And again, your advice is to do what is going to make you happy. What's going to bring you that overall happiness, and then you hoping for long-term security and stability and happiness. And it's there. It's like right here, right now for some of you. Now, with the Star and Temperance and the Magician, that Tower, like I said, once it's done and over with, you're looking at your hopes and your desires on such a big scale here, but I think you're looking at it differently than what you have known before. And with Temperance, getting back to a place of balance, again, thinking clearly about how you're feeling. And then with the Magician, manifesting that cool-ass shit. I love it. I think it's a beautiful reading. I think that some of you may feel, a little bit difficult right now in terms of where you're headed, because again, I go back to this, you may have these wonderful new things in front of you, but you may think that your path is not there, but it is, because again, with the devil being the overall, that's not, that's not your path. That is not your path. If you have, these new opportunities right in front of you, yes, grab them. Don't let the devil stop you from having that overall happiness and security and stability. But like I said, I do think that for some of you, the fear is what's going to happen once this is gone, right? Because I do think that there may have been like a level of security with that. But like I said, the way that you're coming out, perfect. It's perfect. Now, as far as relationships go, I say that and the reading looks wonderful, but then the singles pull this. You may be dealing with somebody who is married, who may be either stalking you or is like up your ass. Or they could just be admiring you from afar, but the marriage thing, that bothers me. Now, for some of you, you may be getting into a relationship here that's moving really, really quickly, but then, with the Page of Swords, right, you could have somebody that is like trying to sabotage it though too, I feel like, because they're constantly up your ass. It's like as soon as you move away from, people who were not giving you what you wanted before and away from the toxic things, and you start moving into happiness, immediately they're right there up your ass. Like, wait a minute, what about me? Now, for those of you who are in a relationship, oh my goodness. And seriously, like, I'm so sorry. I don't purposely try to pull this, but, apparently it's still the case for some of us anyway. reconciliation, someone from your past is returning. And then you have the Queen of Pentacles. Now, it could be that this is a person you were in a relationship with, and you may not be wanting to reconcile being the Queen of Pentacles. But I don't know. If we're talking about someone from your past, they may be trying to make up for the fact that they weren't, focused enough on the relationship or giving you enough attention. And you could be dealing with another earth sign, which is possible. But really it's up to you. I mean, you get to manifest whatever the hell you want, right? But looking at the Tower and the Devil, something has got to be completely wiped away here for you before you even think about going after those aces. Because if the Devil is still looming over you, those things, these new beginnings may not be there for you if you, go back to something that you're familiar with, even though it's a bad thing, right? But like I said, coming out on this, I think that you realize that it's the only way. It's the only way to get to that overall happiness.